life doesn't happen to you. You create it. That is what I learned when I spent the last few minutes with Antara. I hope you've watched the previous session, because what you're going to get here is going to be very exciting. A couple of things which I really took away from her was the fact of something which she has learned with her childhood is about gender blindness. From today, that's my motto, because all these days I've been talking about me being this nasty feminist and things like that, but then this gives a complete different perspective. Gender blindness. That's something which really got me thinking. So let's get going. Antara's right here with me and we move on from here.
Great, thank you. And thank you for being so open to learning from me, because I think that's the beauty of our camaraderie and the kind of stories we are creating.
Absolutely.
Is that while we come on our journey, we can't be like, this is mine, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to learning a lot from you as well, on camera and off.
Oh yeah, the off ones we'll talk later on.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we spoke about your childhood and the things you did, and let's move on. What did you carry with you and the next phase of your life, you know?
So I mean, after schooling, I went and did my law degree at Trinity College. I qualified
Law?
in, yes, law.
Wow.
And then
I'm so sorry. That puts a question mark on my thought process right now. Okay. With all the activity and all the action-oriented childhood, law, where did law come from?
So actually, one thing that I sort of take for granted, to be honest, is I was always an A-grade student. It came naturally to me. I had a photographic memory. I could tell you which word was on which page, which sentence. Wow. So I did my ICSE. In fact, I got 100% in my maths exam. Which I got into a lot of trouble with my friends.
I got a 60%.
My friends got very angry because apparently I told some reporter that the paper was easy. Ooh. And it got like reported in the papers. So I had a lot of very nasty phone calls from my friends. So I was very good in studies. I wanted to do something that combined my love of mathematics. I had some very powerful maths teachers along the way, Mrs. Ganaraj and Mrs. Das. Shout out to you guys, who I seriously respect. It's a tough subject to teach and inspire. And my love of problem solving. Literature, I was very, very fond, and obviously Shaw and Yeats in Ireland are connected. Did my law degree. As I did my law degree, funnily enough, the one subject which nobody expects anybody to be passionate about, I got passionate about, which was tax law. Ooh. And that combined mathematics and problem solving and law, ending up with me then doing an internship with Arthur Andersen, and which, as everybody knows about the Enron scandal, moved into KPMG, the practice. I got to work with people like Michael Hayes, who really, you talk about gender blindness, they take things to the next level, where you're a kind, gentle, sensitive human being who is one of the most powerful business leaders in America and Ireland, and then looks at you as a fresh, probably the only Indian they've had in a long time, and treats you exactly the same.
Absolutely.
As everybody else, gives you so many opportunities to shine. Small anecdote, I had bust my knee many years ago when I was doing Taekwondo, and I bust my knee again in Ireland, and I was in emergency on a Friday night, and I get a call from Mike saying, "What are you doing Monday? What project are you working on?" So I was like, "I think I just finished a project," and I was very junior. And he goes, "No, you're going to this particular client and you're the expert on this particularly very obscure tax on which there was only 2 lines in the legislation. So you better read up about it and be prepared." I was like, isn't that a bit of a big responsibility? I couldn't say, like, yes sir, absolutely sir. He said, "Stop calling me sir, my name is Mike." I'll put the phone down.
Yeah.
And he's still one of the most amazing people that I look up to. So yeah, law. Then I ended up doing my chartered accountancy with KPMG, because that was something that they encouraged you to train in. Ended up working all over the world in finance, tax strategy, till about 7 years ago when I came back to India and found my calling.
Wow.
So short,
yeah.
15 years.
And I'm not going to interrupt you there, because when you found your calling, you'd like to jump in there.
So I mean, I really loved working. I love working. I'm very passionate about finance and startups and business. But I wasn't really sure what industry I was working in and why I was working in it, other than I got more money and a better title. when I moved back to India, I was searching even more, because when you come back, you can't hide from so many things that you can hide from when you're an NRI and just visiting, you know. So I started sort of hanging out with a lot of people who are trying to improve our country. But I wasn't doing that with any sort of particular agenda. I was just trying to find myself. I was a new mother. At the time, I'd had my daughter. Around that time, I had a health scare. I had very acute pain one day, and I was taken from office to a hospital. And I discovered that I had a particular tumor, which they told me was a tumor, which in the lay person's mind means cancer. Turned out not to be cancer. You know, 2 weeks of extreme worry later, I could have just said, okay, fine, that was an easy surgery, you know, wash your hands and get over it. But then I chose to say, okay, no, maybe that happened to me for a reason. And what is that reason? What is it that I'm doing with my life that gives me a chance to sleep better? What is it that makes me a healthier human being? And I discovered that answer along the way that said, I want to work in creating impact, like being somebody who leaves a legacy. I'm one of those people very afraid of death, very afraid of death. I'm always worried, not because like I'm afraid of like pain, but like I won't do enough before I die, you know? So in my dreams, I'm a superhero. I'm like fixing you know, that beauty pageant answer. What do you want? World peace.
World
I
peace.
actually genuinely want world peace. You know, if I could get it, I would be happy in my lifetime. And the one thing that upsets me is I'm probably not going to see it in my lifetime. But
You never know. Come on.
All the gods and goddesses out there in every religion. But so that's what I wanted to work in, social impact. And I very fortunately and through hard work found 3 causes very deep, you know, connected to me, and I started working on them. And that's how I ended up where I am.
Oh, come on, don't build the suspense. You know, I'm sitting right next to you, and I'm excited to know the 3 causes and think about my audience, yeah?
So I'll make it very brief, because I know we can go back to that, and people can go online and find information.
You know what? We could always have the part 3, right, people? And it could be a part 4, and it could be a part 5, but nothing more than listening.
No, I think it's good if people find any inspiration or want to look up on any of these 3 projects that I'm involved in. They can go online, because me talking about it is not going to help you. If somebody wants to do something, they have to get up and do it themselves, right? They got to find that own spark and go figure it out. So me talking is going to stop at some stage. Yes, it is. I know you and I are going to keep talking for the rest of our lives.
But I want you to touch on the...
Okay. So the first one relates back to my childhood and to Taekwondo. Having been a martial artist and then having been suffered from disability for a long time with my knee, because in 96 when I was injured, 2006 when I had the surgery, and I didn't run till 2016. I discovered that to live a personally safe life, a physically safe life, I had to adapt a lot of the learnings from martial arts. And I ended up doing some study around it, and I created my own little model, very simple 4-step model as to how anybody, doesn't matter whether they're man, woman, king of the world, you know, somebody disabled, anybody can live their life using these 4 steps called PACE. And it's very similar to brushing your teeth. You know, you learn how to brush your teeth, you keep doing it, then it becomes a habit.
Becomes a habit.
And if you don't brush your teeth today, then you feel disgusting all day. Absolutely. Because your instinct is saying you didn't do something.
Absolutely.
So PACE is a model on personal safety that I built. A friend of mine caught me one Women's Day 7 years ago and said, you need to do something and come and talk to my women in my company. And I said, what do I talk about? He said, you were talking about this PACE thing the other day. I started talking about it. Next thing you know, I've trained some 25,000 people on it. And that's been really exciting, because you think that this model is going to work, but then you put it out there and people actually adopt it and tell you it's changed their life, you know.
The best of offerings have been the accidental ones.
Yes, I totally agree. And that's exactly what happened with my charity, the charity that I founded. That idea came to me at an event when Mr. Ramji Raghavan, the founder of Agastya Foundation, was speaking, and he said, the ideas that change the world have 2 things. One, they're very simple. Absolutely. They come to you like a wow or aha moment, and you do something about it. You don't sit on it. And actually, I got goosebumps when he spoke, right? And that's how the idea for the Wow Kitty came, where we take the idea of a kitty party, which you think women, you know, any woman of substance, any woman who's had a tough life goes, I don't have time for that. But then you take this group of powerful women, bring them together every month, change the narrative around the kiddie party idea. You get them to spend quality time with each other, support each other, invite change makers to come, have a proper meeting once a month, network, and then put a little bit of money, we do 1,000 rupees a month, into this pool, and it becomes a perpetual fund because we lend at 0% interest from that to rural female entrepreneurs. We were going to be 5 years this April. We've done over 900 such loans. We've funded buffaloes, poultry, roti makers, taxis, embroidery, kinara dukan, seeds, farmers' wives, trucks. I can't even remember all the things, weaving communities, self-help groups. And we have a 100% repayment rate. But the beauty of this microfinance model is it's women of privilege like you and me using such little money, creating this legacy fund that's going to last beyond our lifetimes and impacting women, our sisters, in villages all over India to get their voice, to find their voice, because once you're financially independent, you have a voice. You can't be ignored, right? Because whoever has the money has the power, right?
Absolutely.
So those are the two projects that I founded and started.
What's this project called?
This is called the Wow Kitty.
Wow Kitty.
The Wow
Very
Kitty is a
beautiful.
charitable trust that we actually had to set up a trust last year, and we don't do any of the hard work to find the beneficiaries, etc. We work with platforms like Microgram and Rangde, who are NBFCs.
Could you just
now.
give us the top level facts of how much support has been gone
So we are
there?
about now 60 women in 2 chapters. Shortly will become 4 chapters. We've funded over 4,000 or 5,000 women because each loan could go to either one woman or could go to a self-help group or could go to another charity that has self-help groups. So the numbers of lives impacted is much more. We have a 100% repayment rate. I'm not sure of the exact corpus of the fund today because we moved into being a proper charitable trust only last year. This was more an idea initially, but it's well over 30-40 lakhs of rupees, which is amazing because it's the cost of one coffee and half a pastry, $1,000 bucks, right?
Amazing.
And my message to anybody out there is, if you have a kiddie party or you have a group of friends and you want to do something good, because fundamentally we all want to, right?
Absolutely.
We're just looking for an easy, fun way to do it because we all lead busy lives. Go off and do it. Take 50 rupees. Why you have to do 1,000 bucks? Whatever your capacity, whatever makes you do this in a fun way, there are so many opportunities to do good. Just do it. So these two things have really helped me discover who I am. The beauty of the Wow Kitty Trust is we don't have any admin costs. The trustees fund the trust.
That's amazing.
Because fundamentally as a chartered accountant, I don't believe in wasting resources, right?
True.
And ultimately a charity ends up not being around the concept of profit, therefore waste is there, which is why I work in Suvitas, which is a healthcare company. It's an emerging healthcare company. It's doing some groundbreaking work in India, but it's a for-profit company.
Nice.
That means beyond my lifetime, once the profit motive is there, it's sustainable, right? And I truly believe this whole impact ventures that have come up, these social impact ventures, this concept, these Section 8 companies, they're going to revolutionize the world. We do not need capitalism if we can have responsible, responsible business models like this.
Absolutely.
So it's very fascinating to be able to work in today's environment in this space.
If we have to continue to follow what you're doing, because your journey has been so amazing, and I can just imagine what this coming years is going to be. And I'd love myself first, but also the viewers to be able to follow you. I am a stalker on Instagram for you, so I already am there. But then please follow Antra and you would see the magic unfold itself.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up for the day, I would just want you to, kind of take, I know you kind of have this thing for looking into cameras, but look at those beautiful faces behind those out there wanting to hear your story. So if you would like to leave all of us with a message, what would that be?
That's a difficult one, but I think for me, I was very inspired by The Ugly Indian. It's a group out there, you can all read about it. I think they've become a global phenomenon. Their motto is Kaam Chalu Muh Band. And I think that's my motto in life.
Wow, that's very nice.
Do, don't think, don't talk. Just go out and do whatever you can to make the world a better, positive, more loving space. That's all we need is for people to do, not talk. Talk is cheap. Your opinions are cheap. Social media is a great tool. What you really need to do is just go out, get your hands dirty, and go out and make some magic. And we can all make the world a better place. So that would be my message to all of you out there.
Perfect. So there's something here.
Oh, thank you.
A very little something.
I wasn't
for
expecting
you.
anything.
But before we do that, I have something more to tell you.
Sure.
With the beautiful journey that you've had and this Wow Kitty, Salma Moosa Talks is a very new initiative, and as I said, that you're the first guest, female guest with us. And I know in the room we just had a discussion that you do not take anything additional than the process which you have put in place. But this time I would like you to do an exception.
Okay.
And Salma Moosa Talks would like to contribute 25,000 rupees
Oh my
to Wow
gosh.
Kitty in
Oh,
a
that's so
small
wonderful.
initiative, very tiny little, because you know what you're doing is so much more than this, but it's just our way of telling you that you're
So kind, my gosh.
you're so doing the right thing, the most needed thing, and you have us all the time.
Thank you
You'd
so
always,
much.
always
We would
have
be
to
honored
serve.
to have you as part of Wow Kitty.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
I can't
much.
believe that. Like I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much. That's my wow moment.
No, that's how you just got us sold on you. Like we are in love with you, Antara. Simple
I
as
love
that.
you too. I'm not going to say thank you like somebody
Yes,
else. You know.
I know. You know that. And you know what? Another thing, before we wrap this up, is having two alpha females dress up and be this and be here, it had to be another alpha female. So I would like to invite my my soul of this whole channel, my executive producer, Sukhdeep, on to here, join us here in the screen as we wrap up this
We
session.
can see you, Sukhdeep. You're not in
Sukhdeep,
this-
come on over. It's Women's Day and it's the alpha females on screen. So this had to happen this
I'm
way.
so happy.
And
She's a
here
good
it
friend of
is.
mine, as you
Yes,
know.
and you know, and
she's the big boss
yes,
of this.
yeah, that's the one.
Hi,
So,
Sukhdeep.
yeah, I love it. So with that, here a small token of
Thank
love
you so
from
much.
all of us.
Thank you
you
so
so much.
Thank you.
So with that, we've come to an end to this beautiful 2-series session. Do not miss it out and follow us all. We love you guys.
Still rolling. आप कितना रोल करोगे? एक काठी रोल दे देते हैं, कितना रोल करना था? हम कैलकाटा से हैं।
Antra interview take one. Okay, you know what?
You know when they give that big check and you're like, I can't give it to you because you're a firefighter, but still to the charity of your choice. I'm like, oh, can I do that? But like I'm in a sari, so that's not happening.
Work.
And the sari can go there. Two of you get it.
That goes to bloopers.
What do you mean rest of my life? Mari dalo, ki khaungi.